The Flat Earth Conspiracy. So, before I share my thoughts and wisdom about this subject, let's hear from one of the leading conspiracy flat Earth experts.
And you got to do that for this flat Earth thing, because you think you've got so much evidence and proof, and that the Earth is a spinning ball. You've seen it from NASA. You've heard some proofs that your teachers have given you. You've seen the globe on the desk for years, but in fact, the horizon, for instance, is always completely flat. The horizon, for instance, is always completely flat.
So I don't know if you're trying to deceive on purpose or if you are deceived yourself. Either way, you're wrong. Because the truth is, the horizon is not flat at all. And I don't need to use any of the manipulated NASA photos to prove it. I've been teaching esoteric wisdom for over 10 years, and I am also a qualified graphic artist. Therefore, I am very good at analyzing digital photography and film.
The horizon, for instance, is always completely flat.
You see, that's actually a completely false and wrong statement, 100%. The dynamics have to do with relevance to size and perception. You see, when you're looking at the horizon and you think and you believe and assume that it is indeed straight and flat, you are actually 100% wrong. And that's why you can get any photo that you personally take or off the internet, whatever, of sunsets and horizons, and you'll always get a true essence of the level by the water level. And when you make a straight line from edge to edge of the water, every single time you will always find that the mid-L, the middle, will always rise above because of the arch. So go ahead and you can measure the edge. Drag that line or measure the middle with the exact same measurements on any picture you take or you find, and you will always find that the middle will always rise above the 2 points of the edges. It's funny because years ago I actually tested this and did this myself just because I was curious. But like I said, grab any photo that you've taken or you find off the internet and go ahead and match up the edges, and you will find every single time that the middle will always rise above, ever so slightly. Because the arc of the Earth, because of the roundness of the globe, and thus the reason that every single picture that you assumed was flat was actually slightly rounded and arced. And that's exactly why this guy right here does not take the red line to the edges of his pictures that he's trying to convince you of that are flat. Because when you look at the edges, you'll see that if you continued those lines, they will prove that indeed they are not flat whatsoever, but are curved and arced ever so slightly. So I used his graphics, and you see he lined up the middle, and then when it came to the edges, he realized himself that it was actually slightly starting to taper off because of the slant and the curvature of the Earth. So in galactic proportions, the Earth is a small world. But to the tiny human's eye, the perception is that it's gigantic. It's a perception of truth, like looking at this picture right here. Our human eye shows that A and B are completely different in shades and color, but the truth is that they are exactly the same. Therefore, once again, our mind's eye has been tricked from the truth. So the truth is relevant to one's perspective. So we can all agree that this is a flat plane, and yes, I made sure that it was exactly 100% flat. You see, but one's perspective is relevant to size. So the human perspective is relevant to size. in the microcosm and the macrocosm of truth. And the truth is that those so-called flat lines and horizons are not flat whatsoever. Exactly like this so-called flat line that I created, and we all agreed was flat. Because to this relevant size, it is flat. But the truth is, this is actually taken from zoomed in way, way, way on this big circle, this big, round, curved, circular object.
But think about it. If you're on a ball, over a ball, no matter how big that ball is, you shouldn't be able to see the horizon out your plane window. Now, some people think that they see the curvature of the ball out their plane window, but in fact they're just seeing the curvature of the glass, because the windows are all slightly curved to fit with the fuselage, and when you look at the horizon through a window like that, it does give a slight effect.
You can start shoveling the bullshit. He's actually trying to say that the reason that the Earth looks curved is because of the glass inside of an airplane? That's complete bullshit. Because when you're looking out a window of an airplane, nothing is distorted. Even the wings are completely normal. Remember I told you the truth is simple and that lies are very complex? I mean, I can't believe all of these manufactured bullshit lies. You see, they're trying to convince you that when you're looking out a window in an airplane, that the horizon line is eye level. And that's not true whatsoever. You see, and that's exactly why they had to actually cut out that window and place an image there, because they will not find one that will show and prove what they're saying, but I can show and prove you exactly what I'm saying, because this is manufactured and the truth is not. So here is the first fake cutout background and fake horizon line, and then here is another one they're trying to convince you exists. You see, they're trying to convince you that this guy is looking out eye level and that he sees the ground and a little bit of clouds, which is complete bullshit. It's faked 100%, because the truth is, had they got a real eye view and not real eye level, they would see nothing but blue sky and clouds. I live in Hawaii, so I fly quite often, but obviously this guy doesn't. The deception is amazing. I mean, this guy claims that the plane flies level with the ground and the horizon is always flush with the eye level, which is complete bullshit. So that's why they had to fake these scenes they're showing you and have him looking out vertically like at a 90-degree angle, and what does he see? Oh, land in the horizon, which is complete bullshit. The truth is, when you're flying in a plane, you look out vertically at a 90-degree angle, you will see nothing but blue sky. You have to look down to see the horizon, which he lied about. You have to look down to see the land, period. The horizon line is not directly at a 90-degree angle straight in front of you at eye level. It's not whatsoever. It's down. You have to look down to it. This is just another misconception of what people don't realize about the ratio and relevance of the size to the perspective. So Mount Everest is like 30,000 feet, tall, and when a plane flies, it's like, 40,000 feet, roughly the same. In other words, in consideration and relevance to the size of the Earth, you're not very high up at all. But when you do get higher and look at the Earth, you can't even see Mount Everest, because of the dynamics of different sizes and their perspective ratios. So what you see and what you believe is relevant to your size and the subject. And the funny thing is that the example that he is even using doesn't even show and match what he's talking about. It actually goes against. He isn't able to achieve the fakery at a level enough to actually be accurate. Let's read some of this bullshit. The problem is Dave's line of sight is parallel with the ground and is not looking down at the horizon. What a crack of shit. I mean, look at the line that he's drawn where the horizon is. It's down by his chin. It's not at eye level whatsoever. And keep in mind that this is a faked photo even. He actually manipulated that and brought the horizon up already from the truth and the reality of where it really is. I mean, this is hilarious. He says that the curvature of the Earth that you see out the window must be due to the curve of the glass of the window of the airplane. Are you freaking kidding me? This guy is either deceived or is deceiving, because he knows nothing what he's talking about and doesn't know anything about parallelism versus the perspective of the human eye. Just because you perceive the street getting closer together as it gets farther away does not mean it's so. It's still parallel the entire way. This parallel effect is the same with the horizon and how high you are in a plane. Thus, what true 90-degree eye level is and what you assume it is are two different things. Like I said, true eye level at a 90-degree angle straight out the window, you would be seeing blue sky. You have to tilt down to an angle to look down at the horizon and the earth below. And remember, when you fly on a plane, your window is above the wing level. And that's why when you fly in an airplane or a jet, a commercial airliner, when you're flying up in the sky, you'll always see that you're looking over the plane wing, and you're looking down at the wing, and you're looking down at the horizon, and you're looking down at the earth. So that's why they forged this photo and had to fake the scenery outside, because it's not real. Because if you really got parallel with the person's eye view, like I said, it would be clouds outside. Everything this guy is showing you is actually completely wrong and proves what a novice, innocent, ignorant, sorry, but researcher he actually is. His amateur understanding of size dynamics in relationship to the perspective viewpoint is astonishing. I mean, if you were a 50,000-foot person, yes, you could see angles like this. Just like I explained, the 30,000 foot of Mount Everest can't even be seen from up here. So a gigantic mountain is barely poking up on the Earth's surface. Not even noticeable. Imagine a human perspective or an ant perspective. Of course it seems flat, because humans are so minuscule in comparison. So no, the horizon is not flat whatsoever. It's only perceived that way because of our minuscule size compared to the size of the Earth. In fact, the horizon line, by the way, actually proves that the world is not flat whatsoever. Why do you think there's an abrupt line there, like an edge? Because that's the edge of perspective. That's the edge of the Earth, so-called, the curvature of the Earth. Because if it was flat, there would be no line of the horizon. What's the horizon? If something's flat, it's going to continue on forever. What's the difference between the halfway point and 3/4 point and all of a sudden horizon point? What's so special about that? Because that's the curvature of the Earth, where it tapers off, so-called edge of the Earth. So like I said, if it was truly infinite and the flatness continued forever, then there would be no horizon. It would just continue forever. We would see a gradual decay of viewpoint eventually, but it would be gradual. It would be a gradient. It would not be abrupt and like an edge, like a horizon.
Level. If water is dammed up and then released, it will flow out in all directions until it becomes level again. But on a spinning ball Earth, we would have to have oceans that were hundreds of miles of curved water. And this is impossible. I mean, they can't show you any example of this happening, but they claim this is what's happening on the Earth.
Again, the water is not truly 100% flat. It's the perspective and the relative size once again. When you're in the correct perspective viewpoint, you'll see that the oceans are not flat whatsoever, but are indeed slightly curved.
Of curved water. And this is impossible. I mean, they can't show you any example of this happening.
Sorry guys, this guy has no grasp whatsoever of basic physics. But water is all about curvature, not straight angles. This surface water tension test clearly shows how the water bulges over the edge or the ledge, forming a curved arc. It forms a rounded curvature effect. And of course, water itself is just related to roundness and circular, physical formation in general. The truth is, water naturally forms into a globe, into a circle, into a sphere, because it's the shape of Mother Nature. Exactly like a bubble.
It looks like a drunken amoeba, but once let go, it wobbles its way toward becoming spherical.
A sphere, round like a ball. It will be a bubble cube. Time for the bubble cube. Chuck!
Sorry kids, the natural formation will form to nature, the round sphere. So water naturally takes the form of a sphere here on Earth, as well as taking a spherical form up in space in 0G. So, like I said, nature doesn't lie, and the natural form of water is a sphere. So to make a long story short, the flat earth conspiracy doesn't hold its weight in water, because the truth never disagrees with Mother Nature. So this is why we find the shape of the sphere in living forms like eggs that create life. Throughout the animal kingdom, the shape of the sphere is how life begins. Which is why the single cell, like the large egg, is spherical. So take a good, vast look throughout the world, throughout nature, and you will find the consistency of the sphere, the natural round shape. So this is why the flora, or the plant life and flowers and even trees, are round, and of course all of the fruit that they produce. So just ask yourself, when was the last time that you had a natural fruit that was flat? The truth is, fruits are spherical, they're round. Thus, once again, truth coinciding with nature. And that's why round spheres are all around us in our world and under the ocean. They are everywhere. So from flying orbs to rocks to hail falling from the earth, they are spheres. They're round, like rocks, or whatever else you can think of, like a rainbow, which is not reflecting the flat earth, but the round spherical earth. Believe me, I'm not backing up the evil elite Illuminati or the, NASA folks either. I'm not backing them up whatsoever. I'm just stating the facts. And the facts in our natural world show us the truth. And the truth is the sphere or the circle. From everything in nature here on Earth to all of the planets and the moons around us.
Lots and lots of compasses. You slide the magnet, horseshoe magnet, right in like this. Slide the removable panel back in, and you can see the magnetic lines of force are very visible.